it's Kathy, and I'm back with another process video, and this one is for the JustNick cut file shop, and I am using the cut file called Leaf Clusters, I believe, and I really love this cut file. It's one of my favorites of hers for fall and autumn type layouts, and it's just beautiful. And I decided to back it with some different papers, and these are just papers from my stash. That one in particular, I don't even know it. It's a Christmas paper from a long time ago, and I just happened to have it, and I thought the colors matched really well. You can see the photo that I have is an autumn layout, but there's not really any orange in it. There's the kind of wine color of her shirt and that kind of hunter green, and there's yellow and grays and even some kind of, I don't know what you would call it, different kinds of green and a little bit of blue and stuff like that. So I'm going with a little bit different of a color scheme for this one than I would normally do for an autumn layout, and because of that I did have to dig deep into my stash. I pulled out some pieces. I don't end up using any of the three that you see right there, but I do end up using the geometrical diamond shaped one and the large kind of one that you see there with all the different shaped polka dot looking ones, and that's from a Dear Lizzie collection from a while ago. I believe it was called a documentary collection, and it was kind of a fall inspired I keep wanting to say the word layout, but it's not a layout. Collection. I only had the paper pad from it, and unfortunately the paper pad, the colors were, as anyone who has bought paper pads knows, the quality in a paper pad is different than the quality if you buy individual papers. So I haven't used much of it because the quality was really much poorer. There was even some of the images and they were blurred, like as if they enlarged them in Photoshop and didn't realize that they didn't enlarge. So I don't know. I think I've just gotten rid of those ones. So I'm keeping in this whole adventure I go on and thinking that I wanted to use this ampersand background paper, but I wanted to mute it. This was actually one of the papers from the collection that I actually got in a kit instead of buying the paper pad. And because of that, it was a double-sided paper and the colors were different. They were better. But as you can see, I cut the cut file with white paper in my silhouette, and I didn't want it against so much cream, because the trick when you're using an off-white and a white is to have the white be more than the off-white. And that would not have been the case. And then I put gesso on top. And white gesso is not white. It's not that bright, vibrant, stark white. It's kind of an off-white. So it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll just back it on white paper. But I still feel like I need something. So I start playing around with the other side of that paper once it's all dry and everything. And it's a wood grain, and I really like the darkness of this wood grain against against the everything else that's going on, against the picture, because the picture doesn't have a border or anything like that. And then I started thinking, well, what if I used, each half, but I still didn't like that gessoed paper. I'm using the other side of the gessoed paper, which is the wood grain, and it is fine. Excuse me, guys, I have a cold, and I'm not feeling the greatest, and my voice is kind of strained and struggling because of that. But I still wanted to use the wood grain, and then I thought, oh, why don't I try this other paper that I had grabbed, also from the documentary collection, which I think is at least 2 years old, if not possibly older. And it was just a bunch of triangles, and I originally was like, well, this doesn't really match with what I'm going with. But I liked it together, and I don't know what made me like it together. And it is an off-white, so you definitely feel the contrast between it and the white cut file. But I couldn't help but, I don't know, it spoke to me, I guess. But I wanted you guys to see that how I got from gessoing an ampersand paper to this, with cutting as much, leaving as much in as I could. I didn't want to edit it down too much. So this is one of those rare occasions where my picture does not have a border, and that is because I wanted it as large as possible, but I did not want to go and print it on, like most, for some reason photo papers come in like two sizes, 4x6 and 8.5x11, but it is really hard to get the best quality, which is the type that I buy, like the highest quality of that brand, in a 5x7. They just don't make them. So I didn't want to print it out really huge because then I'd be wasting my paper. I don't normally print an 8.5x11 unless I have other paper or other pictures ready to go with it. So I decided to just print it on a 4x6 with no border. So you can see I am trying to find something that will kind of go around it. And I do think I end up using more of this paper. So I do end up using it, which is great. I still used up quite a bit of it. I only would have a little bit left between backing my photo and using half of it on this layout. It's not quite half. It's not completely split down the middle evenly. I am going to prop it up with fun foam, and I am going to back the photo a little bit more with one other piece of paper, I believe, but then that's it. I'm not going to go too crazy with pattern papers here because I've got such a busy cut file and a background and everything like that. And I did cut the cut file just so that I could get the part of it tucked above the picture and part of it tucked below. That is an authentique paper that I just happened to buy at like my local Winners. One time they had some paper stacks when they used to carry those kind of things. So I'm just backing it a little, and this was just, I don't know, just to kind of bring in something else. I don't really know why I did it. But yeah, so I had to put some slits in the cut file to compensate for it fitting in and tucking in nicely there because I wanted a bit of overhang in the white space. I went off and cut some, whatever these are called. I am so sick. Cross sections of wood from the Creekside collection by 1-2 Canoe. And I just cut out 3, and I just thought I would have them kind of going around, and I don't know. I just wanted something a little bit more going on. I'm trying to keep this minimal. This is actually a photo that I have scrapped before, but sometimes I get really inspired to go back and re-scrap a photo. And some of the times when I do that, it's because maybe the other layout was older and I didn't like it. Or maybe I just wanted to re-scrap it again. And I kind of, though I like doing my scrapbooks chronologically, like I have them going in order. I don't scrapbook pages chronologically, if that makes sense. And I pretty much do it on a whim. I just do whatever strikes me. When I'm looking around trying to get some inspiration, or I'm thinking of ideas, and I'm looking at photos, if a photo strikes me, even if I've done it before, which is strange because I have so many photos I haven't done, but I've been getting a little pickier with those ones too. Like I have a lot of older photos that I thought I would do, and now I'm looking at them going, they don't really need a scrapbook layout. Like not everything needs a scrapbook layout. So I'm getting a little pickier this way, but sometimes I have special layouts that I really want to get done. And this was just, I guess, me doing like a second take of this layout to see if I liked it. I never filmed that. That was way before I ever started process videos. So there is no process video the first time I scrapbooked this, and I didn't own a silhouette or anything like that. I have been asked about showing some stuff about using silhouettes. Now, I really do want to do something like that, a tutorial where I'm helping people. Just to let you know, though, most of the time when you're doing like a screen capture, which is the type of video that would be, I have to find, what is it called? Software that will let me do that. So You got to give me some time to find some because I don't know if I can find any for free, especially on a Mac. And sometimes PCs, there's a lot more access to software that is free because more people make software specifically for PCs than they do for Macs. So I'm going to look into that so that I can kind of show you guys some different stuff that I do. I am not a silhouette wizard though. There are some people that I follow that are really good with a silhouette and they do have tutorials, and if anyone wants to look them up, look up Ashley Horton and look up Wilna Furstenberg. They are amazing with their silhouettes. I basically do the basic stuff, but I don't mind trying to do some stuff like that. So I've been asked to do that. I've been asked about a scrap stream, a live stream. Now, the first live stream I would ever do would probably not be one where you would see my face, because that also you need software for. And I haven't found any for free yet. Everyone that I have found is really expensive. And I'm not quite there with, you know, the flexibility of like I do get some money from Patreon, but it's not really enough to supply spending like $500 on software that I don't know if I'm going to use more than once. So forgive me. I do want to plan a scrap stream really soon. And when I say really soon, I mean in the next week or two. Because I want to do a spooky scrap stream. Now, of course, you won't see all my decorations or anything, but I wanted to focus on maybe doing some Halloween type stuff. So I'm really, really hoping that I can get some time to do that. I will need my children out of the house because there's no way they can be in the house while I'm doing something like that. They would never leave me alone. So that's kind of the where I'm at with that, is looking to see if I can get my kids watched for a bit so that I can give a live stream a try, and hopefully I won't be terrible at it, because I don't know if I can do two things at once. I am literally, I would literally be someone that if I was chewing gum, I'd just be laying face down on the ground because I couldn't walk and chew gum. So we will see if I can yak and reply and multitask and do a layout all at the same time and not get distracted. Or accidentally curse or something, which we'll see. But anyway, quickly back to the layout. I'm primarily decorating with the Creekside Collection ephemera and stickers, and I'm just picking stuff that I liked that I thought might match. I'm not going to go super crazy. There's going to be things that I am going to remove from this. Like you can see, I'm putting these little leaves on, and in the end, I just remove them. I was trying really hard to be not necessarily minimalistic, but I did not feel this layout needed some crazy embellishing because it already had so much going on with the really pretty layout, with the really pretty cut file, I should say. But yeah, and I have used this cut file before. I used it for a previous layout last year that I did film but never put up because I was really not happy with it. So the photo that I did, I will probably redo that photo too. So I cut out this whole part where I put the words "remember this," and that's from the chipboard from the earlier a 1-2 canoe collection, which someone, quick, what was the name of it? Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember the name of the first one they put out. It was really cute though, and I got some of it. But I realized like you can't see that "remember," and they weren't sticking all that well. I was just like, you know what? I don't want to cover up this whole cut file. I want to leave it with you being able to see more of it. So I did. So I took them back off. I take that darling off. I do end up putting it on just in a different place, but this doesn't really, this layout doesn't really end up with a title. I guess the title could be "Darling." I put it as "Take a Hike," which is, I don't know anybody else. I don't see "take a hike" as a nice thing to say. I guess it is now. I guess we could say like, let's take a hike. But I'm more used to like, take a hike, you know. Let's be 50. Let's be bullies from the 50s. Yeah, take a hike. Make like a tree and leave. That kind of thing. Anyway. Oh, this is what happens when I get sick. I get kind of woozy and crazy. So, anyway. I really like how this layout turned out. But when I'm finished with this, I had those wood veneer buttons, and they're from the documentary collection. That's the only other thing I had from that collection besides paper. So I used them. Yay! The colors matched her shirt and stuff perfectly. And the only other thing I do is I am going to do Heidi Swap Color Shine, and I mess up really bad. I shake it, and then I accidentally drop it, but not on the layout. But then when I open up the container, it spilled everywhere, and it was the green chartreuse, and I could not believe I spilled it, and there was nothing I could do. Like, it was over. So I just left it. There was nothing I could do. I mopped up some, and then I put some more, and I just rolled with it, because sometimes you just gotta roll with it. Thankfully, I like a little bit of a mess, so it wasn't a bad. See? I opened it up, and there was some everywhere. It got on my hands. And I was just like, oh, forget it. Let's just put some at the top. And I had to like try to make some big drops at the top as well to compensate so that it didn't look like a complete screw up. So, yeah. But that's about it. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you stay tuned for upcoming layouts and other things. And there's actually some stuff getting released soon and in the works. So, yeah. I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day. Bye! Hey guys, in case you didn't know, I have started a Patreon channel, so if anybody wants to help support my YouTube channel as well as some of the Scrappy adventures that are coming up, I would really appreciate it. Even $1 a month really helps out. But even if you just like and subscribe and comment, that really helps as well. Thank you so much, and have an awesome day.